evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. It is the final match before the dreaded international break, and I'm going to have to say this now. International break in September. Yeah, but it is a very interesting game as Liverpool take on Aston Villa at Anfield on Sunday. And I'm delighted to say that I have been joined by Josh from A View from the Stands. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Doug, and thanks for having me on. Of course, yeah, I echo your words. Just as the Premier League season gets up and running, they got to take it away from us for a little bit and have a break. But yeah, of course, as well, England meets Scotland on that 150-year anniversary to celebrate. So at least that could be a little bit tasty and give us something to cheer about. But yeah, that should be good. But yeah, all good. Thanks, and as I said, thanks for having me on today.
No, it's great. It's great to get you on. Great to get you on. And I know that tonight is quite a big night for you. Obviously, being a Rangers supporter as well. How are you
Yeah,
feeling about that one?
I say it all the time, but Champions League is everything. It's the pinnacle. You work so hard to get to where you want to be, um, and to drop into the Europa League will not feel the same. However, the only positive I could probably take from it is Rangers had a terrible Champions League campaign last year. That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was done after like match week 4, I think, or 3, or even like game week match week 3. Sort of knew they were doomed. And at least in the Europa League, they got to a final the last time they were in it. So it is an easier competition. But yeah, at the end of the day, I want to see Rangers playing against the best teams in Europe, and it's a tough one. PSV away, they're gonna have to be tactically spot on. They're gonna have to be defensively resilient, and try and get the job done. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, looking forward to that one tonight, Doug. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's an 8 o'clock kickoff this season. So going to be very, very intriguing to say at the very least. Hello, Gary. Hope you are well. And everyone who is watching, please remember to hit the like button and please do remember to hit that subscribe button as you join in the chat as well. But Aston Villa, let's have a wee chat about Europe, guys. Wasn't the best to start the seasons. Obviously, 5-1 defeat against Newcastle. I actually thought you played well in that game. I actually thought you played well in that first half. Unlucky to be, sort of 2-1 down at half time. But ever since then, I mean, 4-0 against Everton was fantastic. 5-0 against Hibernian in the Europa Conference League, and yes, you're already through there anyway. And then 3-1 against Burnley. So, how would you sum up your season so far?
Well, not the start we expected. I went up
Yeah,
to Newcastle for that game. I was in that away end, and as you said, it was a weird game. It was a weird game, to be honest. The Mings injury, you can't discredit the impact that had on the rest of the squad and the team there at St James's Park. Newcastle, you played against Newcastle. Then there you see what they do. They're very good at leaving late challenges in, breaking play down, stopping the flow of the game, and somehow getting away with it. Classic Joe Linton against you guys should have been booked ages, ages, and before he eventually gets a proper telling off. And he did it the same against us, and they roughen you up. And yeah, I felt we were in the game for parts of that first half, definitely the end of the first half, and then start of the second half when we were knocking on the door. 2-1 down, he changes, he brings off Leon Bailey, makes a tactical change, and then it was just that mistake from Ezri Konsa where you gift them the third goal, and now that's when the nails in the coffin, in my opinion. When you're 3-1 down at Newcastle, a 2-goal
yeah.
swing is hard, and we lost momentum. And you have to take that on the chin sometimes. That sometimes it doesn't go your way, and I think if you want to, you know try and make an excuse for that performance. You look at the timing situation, you look at individual errors, you look at, those sort of things and put it all together and think, okay, you can take that. Now, people are going to me, well, calm down. You've only beaten Everton, Hibs, and Burnley. Well, I always say you can only beat the teams in front of you, and it's the
Yep.
manner and how you beat those teams. We controlled the game against Everton. absolutely controlled them for 90 minutes, which was fantastic. And then Burnley away, I thought was a really professional performance. A Burnley side under Vincent Company who are trying to build this feel-good factor at home, who have changed their style of play. But we controlled the game. Yes, they did score against us, which I was frustrated about, but they were really limited to the threats. And I just thought, right, that's two really solid Premier League performances, plus the Hibernian game where
Yeah.
it was boys v men. Like it was that's the sort of with that. And look, you're our next test, and for me, it's a great test for us, and I'm really looking forward to the game against you boys on Sunday. And yeah, it's a good time for it to come. I think it's a really good time to come for us now.
Yeah. Are you going on Sunday?
No, I was trying to get a ticket and was asking around, and there was a small chance, but it hasn't fruition. So it will be, of course, a watch along. But I'm excited for it. I respect what Liverpool bring. I know what Liverpool can do, and yeah, it's going to be a good one, Doug. I believe that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jordan, no news on Ryan Gravenberch. However, there is an outgoing. Yes, there is an outgoing. Nat Phillips is set to join Celtic on a season-long loan. Yes, apparently he is travelling up to Glasgow tonight to finalise a move to Celtic. And if completed tonight, he will go straight into the squad for the Old Firm derby on Sunday. I mean, there isn't much about sort of throwing someone in the deep end, Josh, but that would be some game to make your debut.
It would. It's not, and let's just say, like, if he gets off to a bad start there as well in that derby game, the fans are going to be on your back. You're judged basically on those performances in those games, and set the
Yeah.
precedent right, then you sort of a bit more respected. But yeah, no interest in that one, Doug. And Gravenbach is a name that keeps getting touted around. But I've seen Man United link with him, I've seen you, but I wouldn't say he's exactly like. I don't know. I'm not feeling Gravenbach as a player. I just genuinely think that actually, it's a desperate signing if you were to get him now. I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that's definitely going to be going up to the end of the window, for sure. And Mattson, hello Matt. Hope you're well as well. Let's talk about your transfer window, because I think you've had one of the best transfer windows in the Premier League. I've got to say. I mean, looking at the signings you made, Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen, that's an absolutely fantastic signing. Obviously I watch a lot of Bundesliga football, and I remember that Diaby was being, I think he was being touted for like Newcastle last season, but you managed to get him in. Pau Torres as well, Villarreal, fantastic signing that one. It looks like you're getting Clement Longley as well on a season long loan as well. How are you feeling going into the season? And do you think you need any more players, I should say?
The issue is we've got with Villa is we had two injuries now, Emi Buendia and Tyrone Mings, who are first team regulars, first team squad players, which haven't been accounted for and which we didn't expect. So your hands forced a little bit in that sense. Philippe Coutinho is another one that we're trying to sort out. Of course, picked up a hamstring injury again when he played against Everton, but looks like he's going to go to Qatar. So with our window, as I said, I think we've had what I would probably rank a 8/9 out of 10 window. I think obviously the outgoings have been changed or hampered slightly because of those injuries. So I think the likes of maybe Bertrand Traore, we probably would have maybe tried to get rid of, but now because Buendia is injured and Coutinho and going, you hold on to him. But having someone in those names that you've had, Moussa Diaby's been a game changer already. Him and Ollie Watkins, they're going to cook this season. The partnership they are forming is already there to see, and I think it's going to be a big threat against your defence and what those can do again any defence. Yuri Tillemans on a free. I was looking at this the other day. Aston Villa's recruitment recently in the midfield area is a joke. We've got Boubacar Kamara on a free, who again has excelled in that role. Yuri Tillemans now on a free, who plays in that role. Dougie Luiz from Man City, under 15 mil, now touted to be, a top midfielder in the Premier League. And John McGinn was under 5 million when we got him from Hibernian. It's like 2.5. So you start to look at the recruitment in that midfield area and those names I'm saying, you're thinking, Villa have got 4 class midfielders in there, and they've cost no more than 15, 16, 17 mil. So that's amazing. Pau Torres, typical sort of negative fan base reaction to Pau Torres is he's not quick enough. He can't handle the pace of the Premier League. He's not going to physically enough. But the other element I look at is the other side of how good he is in possession, how he can break lines with his absolute vision and passing accuracy. And the other one for me is as well is that he will adapt. He will get better. He will get stronger, and he's really exciting. So to wrap that, I think Doug, Villa need to. I think Clement Lenglet's on loan is an interesting one. I'm not raving about it, but I can see the logic behind it. As we are short now, we play a back three. So Consa, Diego Carlos, and Pau Torres, the only three centre halves. The only backup we've got left is Callum Chambers. So if he gets injured, or one of them gets injured, we're done for. I would like to see one more attacking player come in. Ideally, dream scenario is a backup striker of some sort. Because Cameron Archer went to Sheffield United for a massive fee, by the way, as well, which is huge. We've got John Duran, JD. Is he good enough if Ollie Watkins got injured to hold that line? It's a difficult one. He's only 19, he's quite raw. I've liked bits of what I've seen, but is it enough? I don't know. So, yeah, for me, Doug, if we had to have one more player, it'd be an attacking-minded forward player. But I'm not going to have meltdowns like some Villa fans will and say, we've messed up the window, because we haven't. We've had a fantastic window, recruited big players, and you can't be happier, mate.
Yeah, 100%. I think you've had a very, very good window. There is talk. Well, there was actually talk earlier in the transfer window. Luca Digne. I imagine that he's staying now, right?
Luckily, yes, it seems. It's weird actually. Ever since that we've had to threaten him. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. Ever since Saudi have threatened to take him off us, Luca Digne has raised his game. He was incredible against Everton. He got a hat trick of assists against Hibernian in the Europa Conference League. He was, he's flying now, and you think, okay, this is great. I think the only reason he probably wanted to leave was we obviously signed Moreno in January, who back end of last season kept Luca Digne on the bench, and Moreno was attacking fullback. And at the moment, with Moreno's injury, Luca Digne's thriving, and for me, Moreno is now second fiddle to Luca Digne, and I like that. You've got to have competition. I think it's something that you guys, Liverpool, have been calling out for, maybe in that fullback area, especially as well. Where's your competition for Trent? Where's your competition from Robbo? And competition drives success, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I'm happy that Luca Digne's staying now. I really am.
Yeah, 100%. And I suppose a player who can really thrive off Diaby this season, Leon Bailey, who I think has started the season pretty well.
Yes, Bailey. I'll be honest. I'm a Bailey critique. If I was to say, I would say that I'm a 70-80% positive supporter. I always try and find positives in things. Everyone has a moan and a groan about things, and I for one have always wanted more out of Leon Bailey, especially with the hype and potential that came from him, and the way he was playing at Bayer Leverkusen, the way that we spent a big outlet on him, 30 million. Just didn't do it last season, Doug. Just didn't do it, and I know he had injuries, but and that is the issue, I think, and why Bailey gets this negative sort of vibe from Villa fans at times is because one tackle and he stays down, goes down, and he takes himself off, and you think, not what you need. But he's growing, he's adapting. As you mentioned, him and Moussa Diaby, the link up is there. It's freeing Bailey up a bit more. And all I can wish for is we get the performances we've had from Bailey in the last couple of games now consistent over a period of time. And he's got to stay injury free. I'm sorry, but a player of his ilk and caliber who's come to Villa, and we've seen him more in the treatment room than on the pitch, is very frustrating. You probably, again, if I was to compare it to someone at Liverpool, someone like Thiago, isn't it? You haven't
Yeah.
really been able to see enough of Thiago for the reputation and caliber that he has, and it's sometimes you almost have to hold your hands up and go, it's time to move on from these players. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Leon Bailey.
Interesting. Very, very interesting, to say the very least. Hello, Predator Gaming. I'm very well. I hope you are well as well. Evening, Henry, as well. Just came in to give you a like. Takabot. Hello, Takabot. Yes, Josh. Matt says, I've seen that Villa have invested in 2 Linfield players and signed a player from the Egyptian club Z. Never heard of Z, I've got to be honest. And then he goes on and says...
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
then he goes on and says...
they're academy boys.
Ah, right.
That
Okay.
was signed.
Taylor was one of the best Villa signings, maybe even in the Premier League. Very interesting. Hi, Ryan. I don't see anyone can be FSG out. I'll be honest, Ryan. I've kind of not taken too. I mean, I've been kind of like working all day, and I've seen a lot of people being very, very unhappy. And will we get someone else in? Who knows? Who knows? But at this moment in time, I think a lot of people will be very, very unhappy, to say the very least. I remember when Leon Bailey was linked to playing for England and Germany. He has been the same since then, I don't think. FC worth and worst owners in the league. No one can change my mind. And hello, Geordie. I hope you're feeling a little bit better after the result on Sunday, which we will get into, because obviously Aston Villa did win 3-1 at Burnley. Matty Cash, someone not known for scoring. Is it safe to say he should have had a hat trick at the weekend?
He could have pushed for a hat trick. Yeah, he could have pushed for a hat trick. There was 2 efforts he had. One which took a deflection just over the bar, and another was a half chance. But it did get quite interesting, because every time he entered the final third, he was shooting. he got to his head a bit. But again, that is another Unai Emery sort of tweak in terms of the formation we're playing. He's putting Matty Cash higher up the pitch, which, to be honest, if I was to say what is one of Matty Cash's weaknesses, it's always been for me defending, considering he plays as a right back. He's fantastic going forward, but he's really bad in one-on-one situations, really rash. And so actually it makes sense to keep Cash further up the pitch as much as possible. Obviously, he tucks in when we need him. And yeah, I'm interested to see, again, will Matty Cash be used at the weekend against you? Or will he go Leon Bailey? That's a big question for me on that right hand side of the pitch. What is Unai Emery's thinking? Whichever one he does, I'll back Unai. But yeah, Matty Cash on a brace. Well done. I think it was something sickening, like 7 people triple captained him in fantasy football as well. Which,
wow,
I was imagine sitting there and triple captaining Matty Cash.
Matty Cash, brilliant. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I do obviously play FPL, but I leave the triple captain till like closer to towards the end of the season, or when there's like a like a double game week as well. But I would never have envisaged anyone to triple captain Matty Cash, but obviously 7 people did, so fair dues. Anyway, what's the fitness on Emi Martinez? Because I did notice he obviously went off again. He obviously went off at halftime against Hibernian. Didn't play against Burnley. Do you think Emi Martinez would be fit for Sunday?
Hopefully. Look, at the end of the day, it's being kept quiet for a reason, which worries me. Unai Emery's press conference should be, what is it, Thursday or Friday? Because the game's on Sunday. So that I'll be holding on to every word of that about Emi Martinez. Bottom line is, when Robin Olsen's in goal, the fan base gets worried. The defence gets worried. And I think even Robin Olsen gets worried. But you've got to, but I've got to translate positive again on the other side is that actually he had quite a good game against Burnley. Like he had a few saves that he had to make, made them. Couldn't really do anything about the goal, in my opinion, and looked a little bit more relaxed. So maybe the fact that Robin Olsen knew he was going to start that game and knew that he had to prepare in that way maybe changed his mindset. And I would like to think that again, if it is the sort of Liverpool scenario, though Unai might tell us publicly, oh, it's going to be touch and go to the day or the day before. I think deep down, teams know when they're going to play and who's going to play. It's just the public image. And if Robin Olsen knows he's playing against Liverpool, mentally, give him a few days to prepare. But yeah, I'm sure you would rather see Robin Olsen in goal as a Liverpool fan than Emi Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Robin Olsen at Everton. And one of the things I think was sort of described by, I think was sort of described by a lot of like Evertonians is that he looks like he's actually playing in mud at times. I think, look, I think Robin Olsen is a very, very good. I think he's a very good number two. But yeah, obviously, Emi Martinez, I obviously do rate. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. I think the fact is quite simple. Arsenal did sell the wrong goalkeeper. They should have got rid of who was it at the time actually? Bernd Leno, yeah. They should have got rid of Bernd Leno and obviously kept Emi Martinez, but they decided not to, and that's obviously gone into your credit. And then yeah, you've got a World Cup winner as well, which is two World Cup winners actually, and obviously Martinez and Emi Buendia. So yeah, look, I think if Martinez is back, it'll be a big boost, big boost definitely, and will definitely improve you defensively for that game. But yeah, I thought Robin Olsen had a very very good game as well. We're obviously watching the highlights as well. Toon TV, hello Jack. Hope you're well. I hope you're excited for tomorrow because obviously there is the Champions League draw for Newcastle United. I mean, it does look like you're going to get a very very hard group. I did actually see the draw that was sort of in the rehearsal. I think it was PSG, Real Madrid, however you say Red Star Belgrade and Serbian, Crvena Zvezda, I think that's how you say it, and obviously Newcastle. So that could be that could be tricky. That could be very, very tricky. But obviously, we'll find out tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow. Ryan says Gravenberch would be a horrendous signing. He's actually a talented player, but he's not what we need at all. We definitely need more of a sort of a defensive midfielder, don't we, Ryan? And really, really difficult between now and Friday. It really will be. 7 years ago, Cassius scoring against Rovers for an already relegated Dagenham. Wow, Matt, that is mad to think like that. Maxon, hi lads, first time on your channel. We'll leave a like. I've always tried to stay positive, but this transfer window is pure negligence. We have the smallest squad we've ever had in a long time. I think you are a Liverpool supporter, aren't you, Mac? But welcome to the channel, mate. Welcome to the channel as well. Is Matty Cash more like a right-sided Marcus Alonso?
Yeah, probably. Actually, it's a good comparison. Actually, that's not a bad way to sort of phrase it. In fact, weirdly, no. Who did I see Marcus Alonso linked to? Was it us? Weirdly, now he said that. Yeah, I've seen his name touted around, but no, I Marcus Alonso, I don't rate as highly. I think Matty Cash is obviously much better. But yeah, that's a good way to put it, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the club that was actually linked with them, and it wouldn't surprise me the amount of the left back that they're being linked. Manchester United, I believe that they were linked with the. I think they were linked with Marcos Alonso, which again is laughable to say the very very least. Martinez is better than Ramsdale. Yes, he is. Ramsdale got in the PFA Team of the Year last night, which I'm still kind of questioning how, especially because David De Gea had the most clean sheets. Alisson was probably Liverpool's best player last season. And then obviously you had like Martinez, you obviously had Ederson as well, and then Ramsdale. So somehow gets into that. Very, very weird, to say the very least. I think it was that Arteta doesn't like his character. Oh, you need a character like Emi Martinez, especially last season at Old Trafford. I do remember that. Gracie Lane has gone Villa to win a thriller 5-4. Both teams have a lot of attacking power. I don't think my heart could take a 5-4. I've got to be honest. With us missing Virgil van Dijk, I do think that you will get a lot more. I think Watkins against Matip and Gomez could be very, very interesting, to say the very, very least. Is it a big boost that Van Dijk's out?
I mean, the name Virgil van Dijk, of course, carries a lot of weight and fear in that sense. And I get that. I do get that, but I also think that actually, is Ibrahim Konate fit and available, or is he injured?
Uh, I mean, at the time of obviously like, us coming on here, I've not heard anything about Konate being fit or anything. He hasn't been spotted in training, so you'd probably say I would probably say he could be back after the international break. I think, but we'll wait and see. I think Klopp's presser's Friday, so we'll wait and see.
But yeah, I do think that obviously Matip and Gomez probably have a yard more pace than Van Dijk, which will, help Liverpool in the sense because when you play against Watkins and Diaby, that's what they are. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Actually, weirdly, you could also flip the narrative and say Liverpool look better without Van Dijk against Newcastle, and how actually it has Van Dijk been holding Liverpool back all along, in terms of defensively. Now, some people go, that's a crazy opinion or crazy shout. I'm just throwing it out there, but it'd be interesting to see if you went like a month or two without him. Do things and fortunes and the way you play change? But no, look, I back Watkins and Diaby against any centre half partnership. But I thought Joe Gomez. I do like Joe Gomez. But I thought that actually when you press Joe Gomez, especially on that left centre back position where he's not as natural at times, especially because he's not played as much football in the last year or two, he looks like someone we could target. But Watkins naturally likes to drift out on the left. But it could then create it could create for me the Diaby Bailey combo on that right hand side. And again, Andy Robertson, with his positioning and where he is, I could see, Villa exploiting that. So look, it is definitely different to think Virgil van Dijk's not in that back line. We do that, but I genuinely back our two boys to cause any defence, Watkins and Diaby, any defence that we come up against. Danger. And I look at it from your perspective. Who do I worry most about in the Liverpool side is your attacking threat. I think our midfield can really control and boss and dictate your midfield. I think our front line can run your defence right. But at the end of the day, I think your front attacking players could absolutely cause carnage as well. So, which also, hence the comment below, could create a thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. It could well do. David Raya, yes, David Raya is definitely one as well. Raya played well last season. He certainly did. Jax, that's one of my thoughts on BVD for the ban. I think he deserves it. I think he does deserve it. I think what he said was unacceptable. I think he's only got himself to blame as well. But I don't want this to sort of be just an example of like BVD being the sort of them making like a big fuss of this, because we obviously you've obviously seen last season Arteta was mimicking refs. He didn't get any punishment. Bruno Fernandes completely in the referee's head almost every single minute of usually every game last season, no punishment. So if they're going to really clamp down on abuse towards referees, then they've got to be consistent. Because last week, you look at what happened with Joe Linton. How many fouls did Joe Linton make? About 4, 5, 6. Never once got a yellow card from John Brooks. That's what we want. It's just consistency. Look, if Van Dijk is banned for one game, if he's banned for 2 games, I think we'll be fine. I think we will be fine. And then obviously we'll be back against, I think it's West Ham on the 24th of September. But yeah, look, I've got to be honest, Jack, I think it is deserved. to say the very, very least. Hello, Panoff as well. Hope you're well. Home game. Villa will give us a game for sure. 3-2 win for us. Think our attack will be better than Villa in this game and might be the telling factor. Very, very interesting. Good afternoon, Jamie. Hope you are well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Obviously, guys, go check out Jamie Phillips' football chats, doing some amazing content over there as well. So please go check that out. Star1 must start after those two belters. The false line is dead, says Gary. Hello, Rennie. Hope you're well. I'm good. Hope you're good. Hello, Sebastian. What happens if Joe Gomez plays? Joe Gomez will be all right. Rovers lonely from last season. Jarrell Kwanzaa playing this game. Apparently, he was good when he came on. Yes, Kwanzaa was really good against Newcastle when he came on. Defended really, really well. I think there was only one. I think moment where I think he kind of lost his bearings on Callum Wilson, but very, very solid for a debut. And he's been looking good in sort of pre-season as well as Jarrell Kwanzaa. So I'm very, very hopeful, Matt. I am very, very hopeful that he might get a bit of game time as well. Joe Linton should have been off. Yes, I would agree. Would you play Trent, judging by how he played against us? That's a good question. That is a very, very good question, because I think the problem we have is that we don't have a lot of right back cover, and now look what's happened. Connor Bradley is now out, I think, until November, so that's not good news. Gomez would have been the cover for Trent at right back, but it's now looking like he's going to have to potentially play, centre back in the next two games. This is why we are crying out for another defender. But with obviously 2 days of the window left, I can't see us going for the defender. Could I see us getting a midfielder in? Potentially, but we shouldn't be leaving business until the very, very last day of the transfer window, the very last few days of the transfer window. But yeah, I mean, still a very, very good sort of debate, isn't it, Josh, about Trent Alexander-Arnold? Where do you think his best position is?
I think when you're going to dominate the ball and when you're going to have a lot of freedom of space to play, inverting him in that middle of the pitch and getting him as high up the pitch as possible to play the range of passing that he does is absolutely a must. When you're under the cosh and he's had to do defending and has to play against a counter-attacking side, what Jurgen Klopp and to an element Gareth Southgate has now said to Trent is, you're not very good at a right back. We don't really trust you as a right back, is what they've basically said by inverting him, which is dangerous because you're asking him out of possession to still go and play in there. And Gary Neville winds me up when he talks about Liverpool. I was saying to my friends, it's got to a point now where Gary Neville and Carragher, for me, should be banned from commentating punditry on Liverpool and Man United games because they do mad him. All Gary Neville wanted to do was see Trent Alexander basically sent off. Couldn't stop going on about that. The Alisson save that Alisson made, if you go back to it, he says it's a save he should be making. It's a good height. He's just very negative about Liverpool, and Carroll's the same United. It doesn't matter. But the one thing I would agree with what Gary Neville said about Trent, and will still say this, is that you either replace him or you make him better at right back. You make him a better right back. You teach him how to defend better. You get and you teach him that part of the game, and you coach him that part of the game, and you target that part of the game, and really make an effort to do that. And I think Liverpool, in a way, and Klopp have cheated that by going, well, we've just seen what City do with fullbacks now, and we'll invert him and we'll cover that up a little bit. But when he played Anthony Gordon, he got exposed a little bit to the pace and the counter-attack threat.
Yeah.
I will say, though, he managed himself pretty well on a yellow card. He managed himself well on a yellow card, which shows good maturity. But look, Trent starts every day of the week for Liverpool. He wore the armband when VVD went off, which says loads about how his future is. He's probably going to be a future Liverpool captain. But, there was Gary Lineker talked about how one day Trent could be a future England captain, but find his position and make make this, because the bottom line is in a couple of years' time, these inverted inverted fullbacks are going to go out of football again, because it's very cyclical. Right at the moment, it's such a fashionable thing to do. You'll start seeing non-league teams at the park sort of see them put their fullbacks playing central midfielder, because they're seeing Pep. And I know it's a bit off tangent here, but for me, this is why Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest managers ever, one of the best, because he actually manages to change people's philosophies and idea of how football should be played. When Pep came to England, everyone started tiki-taka playing out from the back and having your centre-halves play and your goalkeepers and your sweeper keepers. And now we've done inverted fullbacks, and now everyone's trying to do that. Look at Arsenal to an extent. There's some other teams. Man United tried it under Ten Hag. Liverpool have now tried it. It's the Pep effect. And yeah, so for me, when that dies out, then what happens to Trent? Is he a central midfielder, or is he a right back again? And that's key. But yeah, I thought he handled himself well against Newcastle. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he did as well. I don't actually think he wants to be a right back. I do actually think he wants to sort of play more as a sort of a central midfielder. But I just think at the moment, with the lack of cover there, I do think for the foreseeable, I think he will be right back. As well. But yeah, I think he did keep himself very very steady after obviously what happened, especially after the mistake as well, and then obviously the foul on Anthony Gordon, where he probably should have been sent off, and I agree, he should have been sent off as well. Rennie, Villa are a great side under Emery. Villa are a fantastic side under Emery, so of course I will be. Sebastian saying, Josh, how are you feeling about Diaby? He has been very good.
Yeah, he's electric. He's someone who can increase the tempo of your attack. He's someone who's direct, eye for goal, wants to take players on, works well with Ollie Watkins, who creates space for him. And to be honest, he settled in really quickly into the Premier League campaign already. 2 goals, one against Newcastle, one against Burnley. Against Everton, he was lively, got a few assists. And was assisting as well against Burnley. So yeah, his numbers have started really well, and this is what we needed. We needed someone to take the pressure off Ollie Watkins, because when you're a team who can't share the goals, you struggle. Not that you struggle, but you're limited. You're limited. I think Spurs found that out last season. No one helped Harry Kane score the goals. That was a prime example of it. Villa of Ollie Watkins, we could have maybe pushed for Europa League. Brighton, why were they successful? Because goals were shared. Yeah, they didn't have a recognisable number 9, but goals were shared. And I think with Villa, it's the same. It's the fact now that if Watkins has an off day, well, Diaby can step up. And if Diaby has an off day, well, Bailey might step up now. And that's what I like. And Liverpool have always personified that with your Mane, your Salahs, your Firmino, something. You've always had 2 or 3 goal scorers in the team. And again, it looks this case with Darwin, with Luis Diaz and Salah, which why I think it holds you in really good stead for the season, that you've still got that, and that will always take you far.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And as well, I mean, I am obviously aware that you do actually have like the Conference League game, the second leg against Hibs. How do you think Emery will look at that game? Because you probably will know already that you are going to be through. I can't see Hibs coming back from a 5-0 deficit anyway. But do you think there'll be a couple of players that could be rested tomorrow?
Logic tells me yes, but Unai Emery is a horrible, horrible, nasty winner. And I can see him wanting just to put even more blood to the sword to Hibernian. That genuinely I see him. No, and it's scary, but he's a ruthless winner. And I mean, hopefully in the back of his mind, he thinks 5-0 is enough, but there'll be part of him probably sat there going, nope, it's not enough. We need to make sure. And ultimately, Doug, he could use tomorrow as preparation for the real season. Because what luxury are you going to have if you've got a knockout game in the Europa Conference League, or if you've got a must-win group game? You're not going to rotate and rest. You're going to try and play your best team on Thursday and your best team in the Premier League because we want to compete and we want to finish higher than we did last season. So it could be a trial. It could be a trial for the upcoming season where he just goes and plays the 11 he plays against Liverpool with 1 or 2 changes. Or I do think this will probably happen though. But as I said, I'm not going to be surprised is that he rotates a lot, and the likes of Callum Chambers, Yuri Tillemans, John Duran, Bertrand Traore, they'll all feature and play, and people like Diaby, McGinn, Dougie Luiz, Paul Torres all wrapped up a bit. So yeah, it's an interesting one, and obviously you boys don't have to contend or deal with that because you straight into the Europa League. But yeah, it's an interesting one, Doug.
It's certainly. Is the Conference League a trophy? A competition you sort of see yourselves going far in?
Yeah, we're going to win it. We're winning the whole thing.
You've got the manager. You've got the manager to win it.
Got the manager. We've got the squad. We've got the players. We've got the mindset. It's all down to on the day now. When the games come, there's no excuses. Famous Luca AFC quote: "No excuses." But yeah, it's what. I don't know. I look at the caliber of teams in there. There's a few, your Besiktas, your Fiorentinas, who aren't necessarily through, by the way, Fiorentina as well. Your Lils. Yeah, there's a few good sides, but we've got the manager, we've got the squad, and it's just make sure we execute it. And I think, touch wood, West Ham have started a little trend where actually English teams could hopefully go and dominate that competition now for the next 3 or 4 seasons, and that would be great because it just showed actually how West Ham won that, what it meant to them, the fan base. It means they got a group stage spot in the Europa League. Well, they were never going to get that with their Premier League finish. And look what almost having Europa League football's allowed them to do. Mohamed Kudus, James Ward-Prowse, do you know what I mean? Alvarez. So the recruitment improves. So, yeah. But the thing is, Doug, I do believe that Emery wants to finish top 5 this season. I really do. And so it's going to be fascinating how he balances the Conference League and the Premier League. And as I said, Villa have underachieved, Doug, in FA Cups and the Carabao Cup. We constantly keep getting knocked out in the 3rd round, and that's something that Emery's said, no, he's not having it. He's not having it. We need to be on all 4 fronts. So exciting times, Doug. Exciting times. Yeah,
especially from like where you sort of were left off with obviously Steven Gerrard. You've managed to get Unai Emery, who is, as you say, is a complete born winner and a nasty winner at that. So yeah, I actually said in my predictions video that the guys, you can go obviously and check out, but I actually did say I think Aston Villa should be a team that are actually looking to win the Conference League. And if I'm being honest, I think Liverpool should be a team that could be looking to potentially win the Europa League as well, because I do think that both sides have got very, very good squads, and I think we've got the squads to, fight on that. As well, and of course, obviously, the League Cup draw is tonight as well. Do you think Emery will give it a go in the cups as well?
I think it's the thing that we've been missing is silverware. We haven't had trophies. We haven't had success. We haven't, Of course, we have the Championship playoff trophy, which was an incredible day, but it's not a big cup. And look, the obsession's there. Look at Newcastle United and Eddie Howe, the way he keeps talking about the obsession that they need to win a trophy, and they've got that thing at their club X amount of days or years since they've last won a trophy. Look at what it meant to West Ham. I'll go back to West Ham. Those fans, they've had a moment, a piece of history to remember, and it will stay with them for years. Yeah, they'll stay with them for years. So look, it's ultimately what we need, a trophy. And I think Unai's made that clear, that to get a legacy and build something here at Villa, and he's already seen as a king, he's already seen as a wizard, a great, but really cement himself in folklore by bringing us a piece of silverware will be incredible.
Yeah, 100%. Matt says, Josh, you'd be a great advocate for a debate video for Pep against Sir Alex. That would be a great video to do. Yeah, yes, it will be Salah against Diaby. Keep the Conference League claret and blue. Absolutely. Hi, Leicester for life. Hope you're well. Yeah, you guys are going well. Through into the next round of the Carabao Cup, and I think it was at 4 from 4, or yeah, 4 from 4 in the championship. So yeah, you're going well. You're going very, very well. Hi, Rich. Hope you're well. Hi, Douglas. Josh. Should be a good game. Hopefully, Villa win. I hope you're well, Rich. I've not seen you around for a wee while, but hope you're all right as well. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm looking forward to the games tonight. Yeah, Doncaster Everton. That will be a very interesting game, especially with Everton's away form. Maybe you fancy Doncaster or something. Rennie and Leicester for Life having a good wee chat as well. Right, we'll get into sort of starting 11s now. How do you think Villa will line up at Anfield on Sunday?
I think I can predict the team apart from one position, which I've basically alluded to. So I think the team, wow, I say think the goalkeepers are. I would like it to be Emi Martinez. I think he'll be fit. Just got this hunch, got this feeling that he'll be fit. So I think it'll be Emi Martinez. I think it'll be the back three of Pau Torres, Diego Carlos, and Ezri Konsa. I think it'll be Luca Dean on the wide left. I think it'll be Kamara and Dougie Luiz central. It will be. Will he go Cash or Bailey? This is the one I'm unsure of. This is the one I'm. Bailey is not as good away from home. So I'm going to use that as a Bailey loves playing at home. He's a weird one. He loves playing at home, not so good away from home. So with that in mind, I'm going to put Matty Cash in. It'd be also harsh to drop Cash after a brace, I guess, away from Burnley. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey does get a start over Cash. And then it'll be John McGinn and Diaby higher up in that sort of box with Ollie Watkins up front. As I said, 9 out of those positions, 100% confident unless there's injuries. Goalkeeper 1 and the right wing is the sort of thing there. So yeah, a great team, a consistent team, and the way you win games, I think in modern day football is by being able to put out the same sort of 11, 9 each week, and that's where we're at. And the fact we know it, the fact that we know our team is also good, because I think look at every successful title winning team, look at how Man City have done it. When you boys were flying, you could name your starting 11 in your sleep. That's how easy it is to know. So that's a good sign for us. So yeah, that's the team though.
Very, very interesting. Jacob Ramsey, is he injured at the moment?
So he got injured in the under-21s tournament in the summer, which was really unfortunate, which England went on to win. JJ played and started every game and then got injured. So he missed the semis and final. But yeah, still not back fit. A great player to come back into our squad. I think I forget it weekly that we've got him to come back in and add and bolster squad depth. And dare I say at the moment, I don't know. I do believe this. I don't know how Jacob Ramsey gets back in the current Villa team right now. I don't think he replaces McGinn or Diaby. He certainly can't replace Luca Dean on the left. And he doesn't play as on the right. So yeah, JJ's got some work to do. And I love that. I love that a great player like that is going to have to really find a way to get into the side, which is a great position to be in again.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. I'm a big fan of Jacob Ramsey. I thought what he did last season was fantastic, and yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame he's injured, but I do think as well, competition for places is always a good thing as well. So he could have a bit of competition getting back into that side. But you know what? Competition for places is what everyone likes to see. So 6 and 6 is it? 6 and 6. Sorry, Rennie. I did actually forget you actually entered the Carabao Cup at the first round stage. I did actually forget about that. So yeah, apologies. 6 and 6. That still amazing. Still amazing. So yes, you're absolutely right. Villa do have a very good team. So we have to be wary. So Rennie's going 3-2 Villa. We'll wait and see. Just Hannah. Hello, Hannah. Hope you're well. Villa look bloody good right now. They certainly do. Matt is going 1-1. It could potentially end in a draw. could potentially end in a draw, and Leicester for Life is going for a 2-2 as well. Right, well, let's go for the Liverpool lineup. I'm going to be honest, Alisson Becker, for me, yeah, Alisson will definitely start. 7 saves he made against Newcastle, which is the highest ever amount of saves he's made in a Premier League game, which is mental to say the very, very least. So Alisson in goal. It will be Trent. It'll be Trent at right back. Do I go Kanai or Matt? Well, put it this way: if Kanai's not fit, it'll definitely be Matip. It'll definitely be Matip. So I'll go Matip and Gomez at centre back. Although you could argue Kwanzaa may have played a bit of a stake for a place there, but I will go Gomez and Matip just sort of for experience. Robertson. I'm going to go Wataru Endo, who I think will be really, really hoping that Liverpool end a game with 11 men rather than 10 men, because the last 2 games he's played, Liverpool have ended with 10 men. So I'm fingers crossed we do end with 11 men. So yeah, Wataru Endo, Alexis McAllister, and Dominic Szoboszlai. And then I think there will be a change at the front as well. Luis Diaz on the left, Mohamed Salah on the right. And yeah, I'm going to go for it. Darwin Nunez. I think Darwin Nunez has to start, especially with the 2 fantastic goals at Newcastle United. I really, really hope, Josh, from sort of a neutral's point of view, that this is sort of the turning point in his Liverpool career.
Yeah, I think there's signs. It's hard to not get carried away, when a player has the impact he has in early in the season. But Liverpool signed him for a reason. They saw something in him. It was a lot of pressure on him last year. Maybe a settled summer has helped him, and ultimately, yeah, look, there's a player there. It's just now where you can get that tune. It's hard to know if Darwin is the type of player who likes competition, who doesn't like competition. What is it that gets Darwin going? And it meant a lot to him. You could tell by his celebrations about the impact he had, and the rebirth of Darwin in a Liverpool shirt is fantastic for everyone to see. So yeah, I hope he has a quiet game against us, but he has a good season overall. And yeah, I am also interested about Mo Salah. So Mo Salah, I watched his body language against Newcastle really intensely because of all these Saudi links. And what's interesting about Salah is just, for me, it was like and I don't know if this was a tactical thing, and it'll be interesting to see more when I watch again, but I'm used to Salah busting a gap. I'm used to Salah sprinting to go and join the attacks if it's on the left-hand side, if it's going through the middle. Like, he wants to be there to score. And that, especially when Liverpool had 11 men, I was watching it. It changed a bit when you had 10, but his intensity to go and try and join in the attacks just didn't seem to be there. And I do say this, regardless if Liverpool don't want to sell him, I think that in the back of your mind, when you know that there's a lucrative deal, a life-changing amount of money being chucked your way in a country near where you're from, the language and etc. It's hard not for that to be a distraction. Let's be honest. It's probably something that every now and then he probably tosses and turns in his sleep, going, "Should I do this? Should I wait? Is this going to be the same? What am I doing in my career? Blah blah blah." Because the money talks, and having that absolute bumper of a deal is going to be there. And again, I'll say it, I hope he has a quiet game against us, and I hope it is in a way haunting him. Because look, we know the Saudi window doesn't shut for another few weeks. So even though the Prem one shuts, Mo Salah's got to probably get to the international break and then after, and make sure he's secured there. So Doug, in your opinion, is he staying? What's your, if you were to put a percentage on it, how are you with it? How do you feel?
I think obviously there's been tweets today from, I think, Jan Agia Fjortoft, I think. As well, he says, "Yeah, I believe Salah will be leaving Liverpool this week." I saw that. I saw that tweet. Um, Now, obviously, he has been in London this week. He was in, I think he was in London because he obviously he had a day off yesterday. He's back in training today as well. I'm 50-50 on it, but again, like I said last week, I can't see us selling him in this window because of the timing of like the window with a few days left. And I think once the English transfer window is shut, I do think that there will be a sort of an tendency of basically saying like back off, like back off. I'll be honest. I think he sees this season, but I think next season will be his final season. This season is going to be his final season. I think at Liverpool. I've got to be honest. But it is very interesting when you say that, because it is very, very disappointing from what has actually happened. And I really hope that the Saudi links are not obviously threatening with his head anyway. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see anyway. But we do have to get on to score predictions now. This is going to be a very interesting one because I know it was obviously Villa playing very, very well at this moment in time. How do you think the game will go on Sunday?
If I was offered a draw, I'd take it. I don't want to lose, and I don't think Emery does either. And I know it sounds stupid, so I don't want to lose. But basically, from a Villa perspective, you don't want to be seen to drop points against Newcastle and Liverpool. And when I say drop points, take away nothing from the game, because that people turn around and go, "We can't beat the big boys. You can't beat the teams who might finish above you," which is a true narrative. So I'll go back to that again. For me, we have to get something. And I believe we can. I think it's annoying that we're playing you after your comeback against Newcastle. I think, again, if you'd lost that game and things, and this whole transfer window and a bit of a gloom over Anfield. But look, we're playing you at 2:00 on a Sunday at Anfield. The atmosphere won't be great. Let's put that out there. The atmosphere, this Anfield atmosphere, won't be there. Oh, I think we can get something, Doug. I do. I don't want to be too optimistic and back a win, but I think that 2-2 draw, I would certainly could see happening. But I don't know. There is still part of me. It'll be on the lineups, and we'll see how you boys fare, and see what Hibernian brings as well tomorrow and what he pulls up and the lineup. But yeah, I'm saying we're getting something at Anfield. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, last season, was it 1-1? I think it was 1-1 last season at Anfield, and then obviously it was 3-1 at Villa Park. And usually Liverpool Villa games are very, very tight. They're very, very tight. To be honest, I don't think a draw would be a bad result. I know obviously we definitely want to win our home games, but do I see us winning this one? I can't see us keeping you out, and I can't see you keeping us out. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. I've got a feeling it'll be one of those tight games, and I do think that our attack could be very, very interesting to look at. But then again, I'm very, very worried about us defensively. I don't think we're that great defensively. But I do have to say, I do think it'll be a very, very good game. I'm absolutely gobsmacked it's not on TV though. They're showing Crystal Palace Wolves instead, which is baffling to me.
That sums up TV packages and rights and deals you get at the moment. I mean, the Carabao Cup blackout is atrocious as well, that you can only watch the televised games. So yeah, it's shambles really. that game of that magnitude isn't on TV. But there we go. We'll have to find another way to watch it as we will. But yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see what some of the predictions that we've got. 1-1 says Matt. Leicester for Life's gone 2-2. Hi, Niall. Villa will smash Hibs. Yeah, I think that's logical. That's common knowledge, definitely. 2-2 draw, says Sebastian. Niall's gone 4-3 Liverpool. Wow. I don't think it'll be 4-3. But Hannah says I can't make a prediction because I'll jinx it. Philip Bidwell says 3-2 Liverpool, and we nick the winner in the dying minutes again. Leeds United FC Jake, hello. I believe you're new to the channel. If anyone is new to the channel, by the way, do please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, over on our view from the stands, it is in the description. Just click the channel link and obviously press that subscribe as well. Yes, Klopp did shut the Newcastle assistant manager up. Yes, he did, Leeds United Jake. He did. Henry's back on Twitch. I'm back. Was doing a live, no problem. We're not letting Salah go this season, says Hannah. Not now, our window is almost closed. Yeah, I saw Lucho pull up in the first half. I was wondering if he pulled his hamstring. No, I don't think he has, Henry. I think Lucho will be absolutely fine. As all. Jake, we've signed Vatero Endo, Alexis McAllister, and Dominic Szoboszlai. Those are the only the three that we have signed. It's another huge game. Villa are a great team to play, indeed. Leeds are in the championship, says Jake.
No chance.
Just got to start winning games, really. Especially after losing to Salford. Yeah, absolutely. Jake says it's going to be 1-1, and it will be tight. I agree with you. 2-1 LFC. Josh, thank you very much for coming on to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Tell the people where they can find you and tell us a little bit about View from the Stands.
Yeah, so View from the Stands. We predominantly do watch-alongs. Wrexham, Villa, Rangers are the three teams we cover. And they're the three teams that I like watching, as Villa obviously a support. And so we've got a big one tonight. If you do fancy a Champions League watch along, PSV versus Rangers, as I said, it's a big one, 2-2. Winner gets a place in the Champions League group, and then of course we'll be covering the Villa Hibernian game, as well as the Liverpool game on Sunday with the Villa stuff. So it's going to be a good one. And as I said, thanks for coming on. And it's been good to chat, as always, Doug, about the two teams going into this massive clash on Sunday that no one can watch on TV, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, guys, please go and check out Josh's channel. You're close to, is it 12k now? Because I noticed you were on 11.6.
Yeah, we are getting close to it, actually. Yeah, just trying to tick along to that, which would be nicely.
Excellent. But yeah, good luck. Obviously, good luck Rangers tonight as well. But yeah, guys, please do go and check out Josh's channel, as I have said as well. And guys, if you have missed the show, please do remember to leave your starting 11 in the chat, and Liverpool and Villa fans, get involved as well. Leave your prediction for the game as well. Yes, it might not be on TV, but it should be a very, very good game between two fantastic sides, Liverpool and Aston Villa, and both sides ever improving. So what will happen? Will Emery's Villa get a famous win at Anfield, or will Klopp's Reds go into the international break with another win? We shall see anyway. But from myself and Josh, it is good night, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.